Before we get straight to the intro and everything, I want to say that this reading wrap up will be unedited. So you're going to just see sporadic me. So that is just a fair warning. Let's get to the video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Denise, aka Miss Denise Reads, and we're going to be talking about the November reading wrap up. I've tried filming this several times, but the last take that I did, I was not in a good place in terms of just irritation, all of that. So we are filming this again. Hopefully this will be the last time I film it. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of the books that I read, make sure you're calling, emailing, and faxing your representatives. Yeah. I read 7 books. 4 were through Kindle and 3 were physical. This was a better reading month for me, surprisingly. So, go me. I love that for myself. So, let's talk about the books. The first book that I read was Plantains and Becoming by Melania, Luisa, Marte, and I rated this a 5-star. I adored a lot of the poems that were in here, and I needed a collection that would have me gripped, eyes on the book, rereading each poem, that type of feeling. This book brought it to me. I haven't felt that feeling since, I want to say, September, if I'm not mistaken. So it feels nice to know that more collections can put me like this. I really love the imagery and the messages that were spoken about in this collection. I highly recommend this book because it does give you a lot of in-depth on a lot of information that I also did not know about, which I do appreciate. So this was a 5-star read. I very much enjoyed it. The next book that I read was Skeleton Lake by Angela Kulig, and I DNF'd. It just wasn't hitting the way that it was supposed to. I think I DNF'd once I got to like 10 chapters. It wasn't doing it for me. Do I see myself coming back to it in the future? Who knows? Who knows? That's kind of questionable. But yeah, it just wasn't hitting to me like at all. Like I was trying to be engaging, with the story, but it just wasn't hitting. So that was a DNF. The next book that I read was Attack on Titan Volume 1 by Hajime Isayama, and I'm very sorry if I'm very much butchering the author's names as well. I rated this a 4-star. Now I know that the anime just ended. I know that. I know that much. However, I do see like the starts of why people do like, the manga and the anime. I know some other people might feel either or, but it's a series I definitely want to continue in the future. I just don't know when. But it's like, oh, okay. I see where it's going, and I don't mind following what else happens in the manga and everything like that. And once I'm done with that, then I'll watch the series as well. But that's why I rated it 4 stars. It was a fun read. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I very much enjoyed it. And I can't wait to see what goes on further along the manga. The next manga that I actually read was Rent a Girlfriend Volume 1 by Reiji Miyajima. Like I said, I'm very much butchering it, and I'm so sorry. I rate this a 3-star. It's more because of it is that cringe entertainment. It's something that I kind of needed for myself, basically. The concept of renting a girlfriend is very interesting. That's something I won't lie about. and then coming to find out on both ends why the female MC is doing that work, and as well why male MC is, just their individual stories. I do also like. Is this a series I will be following as much? Not necessarily, but there was aspects that I did very much like, but it was just cringe entertainment that I was here for, but it's not like my go-to. So that's why I rated it a 3-star. The next book that I read before I let go by Candy Ryan, and I want y'all to take a wide guess of what I rated it. Go ahead, think. If you said 5 stars, that's absolutely correct. This is one of my favorite books of all time. This is the second Candy Ryan book that's on my top favorites for this year. When I tell you, when I started the book, it was so hard for me to put it down because there was times I was like, oh shoot, I have to go to work and everything like that. And I could not put this down for the life of me. Like, I had to force myself to put it down. I love this. I love the layers within this story so much. And what I love about Candy Ryan is that the topics that are discussed, she does it with so much care and so much grace while still making it romance as well and incorporating all of these topics and fleshing it out. I adore that so much. You get to see a lot of familial aspects as well with a lot of the friendship aspects that's also very, very wholesome. Like, I love Yasmin, Hendrik, and Soledad's friendship so much. My heart, genuinely. And then you get to see Yasmin and Josiah's growth, not only, separated, but also individually and as well when they get back together as well. And Josiah actually very much impressed me because throughout the book, I wasn't really the biggest fan of him. But getting to see his journey was spectacular. And this is another thing I also want to say about the way Candy Ryan writes men in these stories, especially like the ones that I've, read so far of her, is that she's able to convey a lot of the main male characters' emotions. Yes. I love it so much. So much. You really got to see a lot of how Josiah felt. And I could go on and on and on about how much I adore this book and everything in it. Trigger warnings, because it does deal with depression, stillbirth. I'm planning on making a review of this on my Instagram at some point, but listen, like I said, this is one of my favorite books of this year. This year as a whole. And I cannot wait for Soledad's, because I'm already hearing some of my Bookstagram mutuals have already read it, and that makes me so excited to read her story next. So, March, you need to step it up and hurry up, because I'm waiting. 5 stars. The next book that I read was All of Me by Honesty Price, and this one was very interesting because you get to see Ivy. She owns her own business. We love that for her. She's dealing with a breakup, which is a yikes, and she also needs a date for her sister's wedding. So what better way to use her business than literally to go on her business website or whatever and look for someone. And then that's when Greg decides to appear. Because he also needs to find a date for something for his family's event that's also taking place in the same area. So you get to see Ivy and Greg, get to know each other, everything like that. And the talking phase between these two was so cute. So cute. I adored it so much. However, I do have a lot of gripe with Ivy's family. I have a lot of gripe. I'm not going to necessarily say what happens, but I have a lot of gripe with them, and it's on site. Like, that's a whole nother ball deal. Anyways, I didn't even say what I rated it. I rated it 4 stars. I really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed getting to know Ivy and Greg. And yeah, this was a story I really much needed. So, yeah, 4 stars. And the last book that I read, ooh, that almost hit me. Sister Outsider by Audre Lorde, and I rated this a 5 star. When I tell you, I don't annotate in books at all. Unless if it's informative books like this, then I will. Let me show you. That's a little snippet of me and how much I annotated in this book. There was a lot of things that I learned, but one thing I will say that I learned heavily, 2 things actually, 2 things that I've learned. And I think it's also common sense. 1, read books outside of your experience. Read diversely. Basically, read diversely. 2, reading is political. Considering with what you're reading, we see it now. We've been seeing it now. Especially this year. That's just food for thought. Very much informative. One of my favorite reads, actually. And there was one essay that I know I'm gonna have to go back to in terms of like with my poetry. And the essay is called Poetry is Not a Luxury. I need to reread that section whenever I'm having struggles with poetry. Reading that essay really helped me out and eyed for myself what I want in terms of my poetry. How do I, approach it now, considering how I'm growing up, obviously, and just, I'm growing as a person every single day. So it's like, a year before, like, 2022 me is very much different from 2023 Denise. So I will be going back to that essay a lot. So, like I said, very enjoyable, very informative. You get to hear more about Lorde's life, especially like with her kids and everything, and comes to her sexuality and what she experiences as well as a Black woman too, especially during this time period. So very, very informative. I do highly recommend this. Like I said, this was 5 stars. And with that, that is my November reading wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys did, make sure you give a thumbs up and comment down below. What was your favorite year? Denise English. What's your favorite book from November? Because if I had to choose, genuinely, actually, now I'm thinking about it, it's literally my physical books. It's literally, let me hold them up. It's literally these 3. These 3 are my favorite books from November. So comment them down below. Make sure you follow all my social media. All that will be in the description below. And until next time, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.